Catherine de Medici, the queen behind France's most notorious massacre. In the blood-stained corridors of French history, few names evoke as much awe, dread, and fascination as Catherine de Medici. A queen, consort, regent, and political mastermind, she is often remembered as the sinister orchestrator of the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre, one of the darkest episodes in early modern Europe. But was she a cold-blooded killer drunk on power, or a desperate ruler caught in the fires of religious war, trying to keep her kingdom from disintegrating? This is the tale of the Italian-born queen who wielded power in a male-dominated world, navigated civil war, court intrigue, and family betrayal, and in the process, helped shape the fate of France. From Florence to France, a queen by birthright, not by blood. Catherine was born in 1519 into the illustrious and controversial Medici family of Florence, a dynasty known for its wealth, patronage of the arts, and ruthless political maneuvering. Orphaned by the age of 1, she was raised under the guardianship of her powerful uncle, Pope Clement VII, who engineered her marriage at age 14 to Henry, Duke of Orleans, the second son of French King Francis I. At first, she was a foreign curiosity in the French court. Italian, not particularly beautiful, and overshadowed by her husband's glamorous mistress, Diane de Poitiers. But Catherine's greatest strengths were not her appearance or charm. They were her intellect, patience, and political acumen. When her husband ascended to the throne as Henry II of France in 1547, Catherine became queen. Yet her real journey of power only began after his sudden death in a jousting accident in 1559, which plunged France into chaos. The Queen Regent, holding power in a kingdom on fire. Henry's death left Catherine the widowed mother of a sickly teenage king, Francis II. From that point forward, Catherine became the central force in the French court, guiding a country torn by one of the most brutal and divisive conflicts in European history, the French Wars of Religion. At the heart of the conflict were the Catholics and the Huguenots, French Protestants inspired by the teachings of John Calvin. Religious fanaticism, power struggles between noble families like the Guise, Montmorency, and Bourbon, and foreign interference created a powder keg. Catherine tried to balance these forces, often playing both sides in a game of survival. She served as regent for 3 of her sons, Francis II, Charles IX, and Henry III. With each reign, her influence grew and waned in a deadly dance of diplomacy and deceit. The road to the massacre, tension, betrayal, and a wedding. By 1572, Catherine had watched France endure over a decade of civil war and religious bloodshed. She had tried numerous strategies to calm tensions, marriages, peace treaties, even secret deals with Protestant leaders. Her most ambitious plan was to unite the warring factions through marriage. Her Catholic daughter, Margaret of Valois, later known as Queen Margot, would marry the Protestant Henry of Navarre, the future King Henry IV of France. It was a bold, unprecedented idea, a royal Catholic wedding to a Protestant prince, under the banner of reconciliation. The wedding was held in Paris in August 1572. Huguenot leaders, including the powerful Admiral Gaspard de Coligny, flooded into the staunchly Catholic capital. For a moment it seemed France might finally turn a page. But what followed was not peace, but one of the bloodiest massacres in European history. The St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre, a kingdom drenched in blood. In the early hours of August 24th, 1572, the feast of St. Bartholomew, the city of Paris erupted in violence. What began as an assassination attempt on Admiral Coligny, which failed, escalated into a coordinated slaughter. Church bells rang out, signaling the start of the purge. Catholic mobs, egged on by royal guards and nobility, hunted down Huguenots through the streets of Paris. Men, women, children, up to 3,000 people in Paris alone, were butchered in their homes, in churches, on the steps of palaces. The Seine River ran red with blood, and the carnage spread to the provinces, claiming tens of thousands more lives in places like Lyon, Orléans, and Toulouse over the following weeks. Was Catherine guilty? The great debate. Historians have debated Catherine's role in the massacre for centuries. Was she the mastermind, orchestrating the bloodbath to eliminate Protestant leadership once and for all? A pragmatic ruler, forced into approving a preemptive strike to prevent a Huguenot coup? A helpless witness dragged into a storm she couldn't control? Here's what we know. Catherine approved the attempt to assassinate Coligny, fearing his growing influence over her son Charles IX. After the attempt failed, and rumors of Huguenot retaliation spread, she and the Royal Council decided to eliminate Protestant leaders. Whether she intended the mass public slaughter or merely a few targeted executions is still debated. What is clear is that Charles IX, under her influence, signed off on the killings. The massacre was not a spontaneous riot. It was state-sanctioned terror, born of fear, political calculation, and religious hatred. The aftermath, a queen's legacy in ruin. If Catherine had hoped the massacre would secure peace, she was tragically mistaken. It deepened the religious divide, fueled Huguenot vengeance, and stained the crown with infamy. Internationally, the massacre shocked Protestant Europe. Elizabeth II of England and the Dutch revolt leaders denounced France as a kingdom of tyranny and religious extremism. The massacre galvanized Protestant resistance across Europe. Catherine continued to wield influence, advising her sons and engaging in desperate diplomacy. But the massacre irreparably damaged her reputation. Protestants portrayed her as a black queen, a Machiavellian poisoner, even a witch. In Protestant propaganda and literature, she became a symbol of Catholic tyranny. Catherine in retrospect, monster or mother of France? It is easy to paint Catherine as a villain. The massacre, her political scheming, her ruthless pragmatism, all fit the mold of a dark queen. But history is rarely so simple. Catherine was a woman ruling in an age of men, forced to protect her children, her dynasty, and a fractured nation. She promoted arts, founded universities, and patronized scientists and thinkers. She worked relentlessly to maintain royal authority amid chaos. Her use of political marriages, court festivals, and pageantry helped preserve a fragile peace longer than anyone else likely could have. She was also a mother grieving the deaths of sons, the betrayal of allies, and the disintegration of her dreams for France. A lasting impact, Catherine's shadow over France. Catherine de Medici died in 1589, just months before her last son, Henry III, was assassinated. Her legacy was already cemented as one of the most complex figures in French history, but her influence endured. Her bloodline continued through Henry IV, her son-in-law, who converted to Catholicism and ended the wars of religion with the Edict of Nantes in 1598. The city of Paris never fully recovered from the massacre's spiritual trauma. The myth of Catherine as a dark, manipulative queen mother echoed through centuries of art, literature, and film. Today, historians are revisiting her life with nuance. She was no mere schemer, but a woman of vision and contradiction, compassion and calculation, light and shadow. The queen behind the blood. Catherine de Medici did not set out to become a villain in the annals of history, but in the crucible of war, faith, and monarchy, her actions helped unleash one of the most terrifying events in European memory. Yet to reduce her to a single moment, a massacre, is to ignore her intellect, resilience, and the impossible choices she faced. She was a Medici in a Valois court, a woman among warriors, a mother among monsters. And perhaps like all great figures of history, she was neither hero nor villain, but something far more human and far more tragic. Further exploration. Books. Catherine de Medici, Renaissance Queen of France by Leonie Frieda. The St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre by Arlette Joanna. Blood Royal, A True Tale of Crime and Detection in Medieval Paris by Eric Jaeger. Documentaries. The Real Catherine de Medici, PBS. Secrets of the Dead, The Woman Behind the Massacre. Historical fiction. Queen Jezebel by Jean Plaidy. The Devil's Queen by Jean Calogridis. She governed like a man, in a world where women ruled only from behind a veil. But behind her velvet mask was a mind as sharp as any dagger drawn in the dark halls of the Louvre. Catherine de Medici, a queen, a mother, a force of history, forever cloaked in blood and brilliance.